Welcome to the Calm the Storm, the Whimsy podcast, where we explore transformative ideas and practices from Kent and Heather McKean's The Metanoia Method.
In each episode, we'll dive into key concepts from the book, discussing how we can apply these insights to our daily lives and foster deeper connections with ourselves and others.
As we go through today's discussion, we invite you to think about how these concepts apply to your own life. Let's dive into our discussion.
Who's that hiding?
Okay, my kids were singing this today.
Tops. What are the next line? The jitterbugs.
Hiding in the treetops, can you catch me?
The jitterbugs. That's the song. That's the earworm for me that it talks about in chapter 10.
Right now?
Always. Ever since we did Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
It's like on repeat over and
funny.
over and over again. Did you think of that when you read chapter 10?
Jitterbug.
Did you just hear what I just heard?
I think I see a jijik, and he's fuzzy and he's furry. I haven't got a brain, but I think I ought to worry. I haven't got a heart, but I got a...
I was trying to start chapter 10.
Now I need to know what it says. Just press record. This is fun.
It's been recording. I tried to start chapter 10.
You're the one that... Oh! I thought you were talking to us! Here we go. Now we're going to listen to it. It is not recording.
It is 100%
In the treetops. Rascal.
the jitterbugs. Yes.
Catch him coming round here.
Jitterbugs.
She said, you're the one that started this because the first part of chapter 10 talks about an earworm.
You know, the song that repeats in your head all the time.
Yeah. But
you
thank
can't,
you for that performance.
Finish.
That song has been in my head too, and I love it.
Oh my gosh, that is not the song that is in my head. But the song that is in my head is
His boots with the fur.
Mr. Electric Blue.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, it's Benson Boone's new song.
Oh.
It is to die for.
Okay.
Mr. Electric Blue, I want to dance with you. Something. And then it talks about, I can't remember the rest of it, but it's amazing. But that part right there, Mr. Electric Blue, is in my head 24/7 right now.
That's so funny. But it talks about how we can't turn that off.
Yes. Which means that we can't turn off any of those things that are going through our head.
Yeah.
Right? So it's that recording that's like constantly playing in our head.
Yes.
All right.
So part of that, real quick, because it says here, I have it underlined. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a specific effect. I cannot pronounce this word, but I'm going to spell it because that's how we do things around here.
Or say it fast.
Yeah, you gotta say it fast. Is it the one with
Is
the
it
Z?
gonna, I don't know.
Is it the one with the Z?
Yeah.
It's Zargarnik.
Oh, good job.
That was not bad.
That was not bad at all. Actually,
Are you supposed to say it fast and weird?
Zargarnik. Is in which our minds get stuck on incomplete mental processes. So the findings suggest that when we fail to resolve something from our life, it can create underlying cognitive tension. So then it's like this, and then it says once the feedback loop is satisfied or resolved, the mind is able to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So how many things do we have going on in there that are not resolved?
Everything.
Like
So
that's
many things,
that's
yeah.
kind of crazy that like once it's satisfactory or feels resolved, it'll go away.
Mm-hmm.
Mine doesn't feel resolved.
Well,
I've
I
got
don't
so
think-
many things for my whole life.
Yeah.
It's just
probably
very
why I have
interesting
issues.
to me. I never heard it as an earworm before,
Mm-mm.
but it
I'd
makes sense
rather
to me.
have the jitterbug playing than all the things that go on in my head.
I'll put the jitterbug in your head so that the rest of it will be resolved.
It also says what is traumatic for one person may seem trivial to another. We tend to judge one another's experience through our own lenses, and trauma cannot be approached in this way. But Kelly, the reason that it's all there still for us is because it says we have been grossly under-equipped in how to deal with it.
Yes.
In fact, we have become experts in not dealing with trauma. Instead, we cope. And it hurts my brain that it says Christians are particularly skilled at this, because it reminds me of like so much that we've talked about like just the words we say.
Yes. The Christianese sound, like what you say to make yourself feel better.
Or just think you're
like,
doing the right thing.
Yeah.
The going through the motions. So like all of this is in quotation marks. Like there's so much talk about being forgiven and having faith and things being in God's hand.
Yes.
But the fruit of those confessions is not matching up. Often we equate not feeling it or not thinking about it as dealing with something. If it doesn't bother me, it doesn't exist.
But see, that's the problem. It is bothering us.
We think it doesn't bother us, but it is bothering us.
But it's affecting us internally.
And it says we can avoid thinking about those negative experiences, but subconsciously they are alive and well and usually gaining momentum.
Duh.
We shouldn't settle for just being okay on the outside. When we clean up the inside, the outside will reflect that. So it talks a lot about like being hoarders, which was actually a really good like visual for me about how on the outside their house can look good, but on the inside, like it's all falling apart or overflowing or smells bad or things are a mess. So can you relate to being an emotional hoarder?
Absolutely.
Crystal's going to say no.
I just do.
Because I think I clean the outside.
What do you mean?
Like I clean the outside. So like my house is clean. So then I don't have to think about all the things that I'm storing in there.
Like emotional, like,
I know.
emotions,
so like that's what I'm saying.
Stuff.
So like I do it that way. So then I don't think about the things that I have to worry about.
So does that mean you are hoarding emotionally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think I am for sure.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I'm that cleaner. Like
that's your coping mechanism.
Come to my house.
I have control over those things.
Yes.
And so those things could be cleaned and taken care of and all of that. But that's because I have underlying things that I can't have control over right now.
Yeah. I think I am an emotional hoarder as well.
Which is kind of scary to say. But I wrote here, like this part here, like Matthew 23, 25, and 26, it says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and the dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee. First, clean the inside of the cup and the dish, and then the outside also will be clean." And I wrote, constantly missing the point. Like, we need to stop cleaning the outside and clean our inside first. Like, it's so easy to clean the outside. So easy. And then we have this hard work that has to happen inside that we just keep. It'll just come natural for that.
And it's hard to know how to fix it all and how to like clean out the inside.
I don't know if I would have even said like, yes, I'm an emotional hoarder until I read this chapter though.
Right.
Because I feel like I deal with things and I confront things, but I think there's probably a lot of things that I just don't think about, or I just say the right thing to feel like I'm dealing with them. Or
yes, or we have pushed them so far down that they don't hit that replay button right now. Right now.
But they're coming.
But they're going to surface at some point.
It's gaining momentum, which is kind of scary.
Very scary, because if it's down deep, the momentum it has to come up is not what we want to be feeling.
Right.
Like I could,
So, Crystal, you said cleaning is a coping mechanism. Do you have other ones?
Yes.
What are they?
Polar Pops. Licorice.
Yeah, you do love a good Polar Pop.
I do. And on a day when I need a Polar Pop and you're not drinking pop, you just got to drink it, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That is definitely a coping mechanism for me.
What about you?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I like comfort food. When I've got a lot going on, it's just easy just to eat things or mindlessly scroll and try to not think about what's going on.
Sure. Filling that time, that space.
Yeah.
Hillary?
So I watch TV.
Okay.
Because it helps me to just check out. And the TV drama is way worse than any drama I have. So I enjoy that.
So we can compare our drama.
I can be like, I'm good to go.
Oh, man.
They're cray-cray up in there.
I think we actually watched a show once just for that reason, right?
Yes.
Like, there was a show that we were watching.
The
Yes.
Handmaid's Tale, every time she's having issues, she's like, I'll just put the Handmaid's Tale on.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's like, oh yeah, you know what? We're good.
Good for now. And then definitely food is a coping mechanism for me. And honestly, like, this is not something, I mean, this is kind of a controversial thing to bring up, but for me, like, I think medication is probably a coping mechanism because for like a long time, I said it allowed me to be who I am, which I still believe that it does help me with that, but it helps me with that without me having to actually deal with certain things. Does that make sense?
Oh.
So like it shuts off some things for me. Like I'm not super emotional anymore. I don't I don't have to feel all of that like I used to. And so I think it's helped me a lot. I think I needed it. I don't know if I needed to hold on to it forever like I would like to. But it's very scary for me and everybody who loves me to think about me not taking it anymore.
That is hilarious because I love you when you're not on it too.
Yeah, because you like to see me all feisty.
I love knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Like,
crazy.
it's okay. Like, I feel like we live in a society that says we can't be that. And I think we can.
Yeah.
So this is the problem. I've only seen her off meds while she was pregnant. And that's a please don't do that again. I've never seen her off her meds when she's not.
Yes, you have.
Emotionally pregnant. No. It's been around baby. Every time you have a baby, you go off.
Yeah, but I wasn't on it until after I had a baby. So like the crazy...
Well, that was like the postpartum stuff right in the beginning.
Well, I know, but prior to ever having Tori, I never took medicine.
Yeah, I don't think you needed it.
I was atrocious. Like awful. Think back to mission trips. I was a psychopath.
Yeah, but you
were
also
young.
believed differently back then than you do now.
And you
It
were
wasn't
also
because it's
so-
like, okay, the medicine's sure, do whatever you want. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. It's
You
different.
are very right.
You were also
Young.
young, and you thought it was this way or the highway, and you have to live life this way, or you're not going to go to heaven, and you got to do it this. And there's a lot of truth to that, but there's a lot of like stuff that we were told as children and our upbringing that doesn't line up with like what the Bible says.
Yeah. So you're
I agree.
telling me if I go off medicine, that's fine. I just shouldn't
Just
be
don't
pregnant.
be pregnant again when you go off med. Well,
Or ever again.
I mean, if you get pregnant again, you need to go off the medicine. But I'm saying
That's when it's hard.
it would be good to see you without the medicine, without being pregnant.
I mean, to be honest, that's the only time I've ever seen you off of it as well.
And you thought it was fun.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Not because of the arguments that happened with husbands.
I fought with every man in my life.
Friends
Like,
and
whoa.
all of the things that happened in those couple months. But what I loved the most is raw Hillary.
Yeah.
Because I can meet you emotionally that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not sure where you're at.
I
Do you know
know.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not in a bad
Because
way.
it shuts it off. Yeah. So I think that it literally like numbs certain things for me, which is why you didn't see raw Hillary.
So then all those hoarded emotions, when you go off the medicine, it's like, bleh,
That's probably
here
true.
they are. I'm
Yeah.
going to pick you off, and I'm going to pick you off, and I'm going to tell you what I think, and there it is. Like me or not. I don't care.
Isn't that so good though?
No, not for all the people around me.
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like there's something like true and honest and like,
Yeah.
because then maybe you and I could actually have like this, like duke it out. Like,
That sounds awful. I feel like we duke it out enough.
Oh my goodness. No, I feel like there's always surface level.
Surface level duking?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
maybe.
I feel like we could both touch
I'll
on
keep
that.
to surface
Like,
level duking.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, pacify.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because either one of us or whatever is like emotionally hoarding that.
Oh, you have some things to tell me.
No.
I'm gonna eat
I'm
my chocolate chips over here.
Your bonbons.
Ice cream.
So I think
No, I don't mean it that way.
the scariest thing for me, because ever since we started reading this book, I've thought about it. Like, I wonder if I shouldn't rely on this medicine for the rest of my life, because that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to stop taking it. I have no desire to stop taking it. But then I'm thinking, I wonder if it's blocking me, like medically blocking me, chemically blocking me from being able to actually resolve things inside of myself, because it shuts things down. But I'm so scared of like what I will have to face, I think, if I do that, because I think one of the things about me that has not changed with age or learning things about like my faith, without medicine, I think I would still take things so personally that I would like bite at people or like cry a lot, and I don't want to go back there. But then I'm like, why do I do that? Obviously I need to deal with why I do that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It is scary, but it is a coping mechanism. And also, I'm sure the eating goes along with taking the meds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting that you say that, because now that we're talking about this in a coping mechanism for me, other than Polar Pops, licorice, and cleaning, which are all really crazy things, is crying.
Mm-hmm.
I love to cry.
Yeah.
So like, I love a good cry.
Yeah.
In the shower, or like, those are just things. Sometimes I cry on purpose to get whatever I'm feeling like out.
Yeah. I don't miss that.
So
I do not like to cry.
do you think it's because of a weakness, or?
I don't know. I think because once it starts, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I don't know.
I used to cry.
I feel out of control.
More than I cry now.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel out of control.
Yeah. That's why I like my meds.
I
bro.
got it. Okay. So it says here that we're expert avoiders.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a really good avoider. And so I just thought that resonated with me, because I can really avoid things. Just shove them down deep. Keep shoving them.
I try to avoid them, but they're just there, because it says here our subconscious is what dictates our daily thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. So it's all that stuff that you're not like thinking about. It's your subconscious putting it. I don't know. It's
too much. It's too much to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So this talks about being copeaholics. We don't want to feel. We work, play, read, exercise, Facebook, Instagram, have sex, eat, join support groups, watch TV. Anything to keep us busy and distracted from the reality that we are not satisfied with our lives. I do feel like I have gotten better at being able to like be by myself though, and have some quiet time,
Yes.
but just not too much.
I'm the same.
Yeah. I used to hide from it, like
Same.
completely. I don't want to be by myself. I want to have fun and be with people and noise and
Yeah, same.
I agree.
24/7 all the time. I'm way better now at alone time. I want alone time. I never thought that would ever happen.
yeah.
Because I didn't even like being alone when Aaron, like 10 years ago, if I would have said that Aaron traveled for work, I would have been like, we're not going to make it.
Same.
Like, no way. Like, that's not happening. And I don't know if that's because I'm okay with the alone time now, if I'm feel safer, if I'm older, or like, I don't know what that is, but there's like that part of like, oh, I can be alone with my thoughts. I can be alone in a moment and be fine. Where in the past, I wouldn't have wanted to even think about what, like, you know, all these people that do like this quiet meditating time, or like they have those apps on their phones that like take them through like quiet moments
Yeah.
and their thoughts. Like, I still don't feel like I could do that, but because I don't think my mind would focus enough on what I was doing in that moment for the meditation. You know what I'm saying? Because like I can't stop my brain.
Yeah, my brain doesn't turn off.
I don't know where it is now. I'm afraid I'm jumping ahead, but it talks about how, like, we struggle to, like, you know, how people kept the Sabbath.
Yep, I was going to say
Is that
Oh, it's
on that
actually on this page.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
We lost the art and heart of the Sabbath.
Mhm.
God's perfect plan to give our busy minds a rest.
Right. So
Mm.
even when I take time to myself, though, I don't give myself enough time to like rest my mind.
Right.
I just shut it off.
Right. 'Cause
Like
Mm.
fill it with
Do you, like,
things
take a
that will
nap,
distract me.
or,
Oh
like-
man, I love
Yeah.
a good nap.
Mhm.
But it's usually TV. Just that is not alone time.
no.
That
As
is,
much as we want it to be alone time, it
Yeah.
really isn't, because our brain is still
yeah.
functioning. And yeah, I agree.
It says most of us cannot risk sitting with ourselves for a few minutes, let alone an entire day.
Mm-hmm. And we feel like there's also too much to get done.
Well, yeah. Is
All
there
the
ever
time.
a moment that you actually sit down and like not think about the list of things that you have to do?
No.
Like, can we do that? No, I don't think we can.
No.
Especially as moms who are home and working. Like, we work from home, we live in our home, we manage our homes.
Mm-hmm.
How can you sit there on a couch and say, I have nothing to do today?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a thing. So the next page talks about how drama keeps us stuck. And I did think it was interesting how there's the study about animals in the wild. And when they go through it always says perceived life-threatening trauma, they have a whole body, like, shaking response.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I know. And it messes them up.
Well, and what does it say? There's like 2 mammals or something like that and that's zoo animals and humans
That don't.
that do not
Wait,
have
say that
those
again.
responses.
Yeah.
So like in the wild, animals have this
yeah,
shaking
yeah.
experience. And so the 2 types of mammals that don't have those experiences are zoo animals.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
caged.
Yes.
That's weird.
Uh-huh.
And humans. We've caged ourselves.
So it says
Is that not bizarre?
the whole
That is
body
really
effect
bizarre.
is a physical release and elimination of the trauma.
So I need to shake.
I mean,
That's what it says. Shake it off.
Yeah, it discharges the trauma.
And so then the next page talked about how the wailing woman in the Bible.
Mm.
I
And-
underlined that. And
Yeah.
I know how to wail. That's like that's what I do.
These wise women, these skilled women, they hired them.
So maybe I'm wise because I know how to wail.
You do not wail. What does that mean?
I can wail.
What do you mean by that?
Crying.
Ah!
You might. Yeah, but do you do that?
Maybe I do, and you don't know.
If you did, you'd have a whole lot less distorted files up in there.
So do we have to have a session of like wailing? So this is interesting. This specific part is like the professional wailing women were invited to funerals and other somber events to lead the community in a shared expression of grief. To get that out.
Mm-hmm.
To get that out.
That's
okay.
nuts.
So you don't cry
Mm-hmm.
because your medication helps you with that.
But I don't want to let go because I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what about this is just the thought process. There are men in our lives that do not do this.
Yeah.
Your husband does. I have seen him multiple times.
Yeah.
And mine will. And I think Lenny does too. So like, it's interesting to me. Outside of those specific moments, I don't see them getting trauma out
Mm-hmm.
this way, like wailing.
Yeah.
Like, what would it do to our society if we actually got it out that way?
Yeah.
Because my husband is a hospice chaplain.
Yes. How
And
much
he's
is
around
this
death.
holding?
I don't
So
know.
much trauma.
So
Daily
much.
trauma.
I guess right before we left for West Virginia, he had someone die while he was there. Like, it's just constant. And then he gets to know these people and they have conversations and they develop this bond and then they die. And he's probably not sobbing after each one of them. That's why I could never do that job. But I don't know what that's doing to him internally because he has to like move on and go see the next. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. We've conditioned ourselves to just move on. Not him.
Well, right.
Our human nature, our society is like, shove it down. Specifically men, don't cry about it because then you're weak.
Yep.
Like don't do it. Sissies are not good men. And so it's like, what if this like mind shift was part of that? Like getting that out.
And it says, as children, we are taught not to act out when we feel strong emotions so that we don't have to feel. So now I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
What am I doing to my children when I'm like,
you better
this
stop
is
it.
ridiculous.
You're in public right now. You better not act like this.
Yeah.
Or like, don't throw a fit like and cry about this. Like I have said that.
Yeah.
Because hormonal girls cry about everything. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
And there's specific things that you shouldn't be crying about. Come on, right? Like that's in what we say.
Yes.
And that's how we handle it.
But maybe they need to get it out.
Yeah.
Because
it's not stuff it down.
And that's what we're teaching them to do.
Hold it in.
Because their trauma, like it just said, we look at it and think, oh, that's trivial. Because they're children. It's going to seem trivial. Instead, we should be teaching them, if you need to have a minute and go cry it out. Go do it. Cry it out. Maybe not stand in the living room and have a meltdown in front of your whole family and act ridiculous. But like, hey, maybe you need to take some time and it's okay to like get this out real quick.
You know, that's interesting. I used to tell Strider that, but that's because he was acting so ridiculous a lot of times that he wouldn't even be able to like talk to me. And so when he was little, I would tell him like, you need to go away from me. Get it all out and then come back and talk to me because you can't tell me right now what is wrong with you.
Yeah.
And like, I did that when he was little. I don't do that now. Now I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Or, you know, and we're just teaching them to stuff it emotionally.
Because that's what we have
been told,
been conditioned to do.
And it's almost like our whole lives these are like little adults. They should act and do and be this perfect person, and they're not wired that way yet.
Right.
They're just little. They need to regulate. They need to have meltdowns. They need to kick and scream sometimes. And is it ridiculous? In our minds, yes. In their minds, their whole world's crumbling because a piece of a guy fell off and they don't know what to do about it because this was their favorite guy. And we're like, that's just ridiculous. What are you crying about? It's just a toy. Like, no big deal. Well, it's a lot.
Well, what this is saying is if that affects us, we should be letting that out somehow.
Right.
But we don't do that. Yeah, but we don't do that.
And we condition them to not do that as they grow up. So if we're not letting them do it now, they won't do it later. And so that's crazy that I never processed that when I was reading this. But when we're talking about it, we're conditioning our children just the way that we are saying that we shouldn't be handling those situations.
Yeah.
Lenny is really good at helping them regulate and like try to see all the things that they're feeling. So like he's been that way for years. So I'm trying to but sometimes I just want to be like, that's ridiculous. Just suck it up and come on.
Yeah. It just makes me have a heart now a little bit more than being like, okay, let it out, Letty. Cry it all out. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But maybe it's still okay for us to say, go take some time to yourself and Well,
and I think that that's the part about it too, is that in those moments, how we respond to them helps them to regulate that emotion. So if we're responding, oh my gosh, what are you doing right now in this moment? Their response is to shut down, stop. I shouldn't do this. So if we're responding with, why don't you go cry it out? Yeah. Like go think it through and then come back and let's talk.
Yeah. And there may be moments they need us to sit with them
Yeah,
and we'll help them through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if a guy's finger broke off their toy, like we need to like try to talk them through it.
Right.
Yeah. So the only thing I do want to say is I think there's a fine line though between that and like what our culture considers gentle parenting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the way that like society is making it, it's like everything's okay. I know that you might be frustrated right now, but like they do need direction from us still. They do need discipline and consequences. It isn't always like,
yeah, I agree. Because
like we should be
when
gentle.
they're doing something that is not what we've asked them to do, and they're having the meltdown because they don't want to do, I feel like that's very different. That's a
enabling.
An enabling. There's a punishment related to that versus, okay, my guy on my Lego set broke off and now I'm going to cry about it.
Right. Well, and it's the thing, like they're growing, they need to learn direction, and we've been through a lot, so we need to direct them and point them in the right ways. So
but I agree because the enabling of the gentle parenting, there is that balance between okay, I'm going to let you cry it out and now you're disciplined. Right. For something like different scenarios.
We can't go from one extreme to the other where we were conditioned maybe to stuff and they can just like trample all over anybody because they have bad emotions is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right.
And I feel like that's what society is trying to teach right now.
Whatever you feel is fine.
Fine, yeah. But whatever we want them to be doing, we should probably start doing ourselves. Which is hard.
Yeah. So I can kick and scream and
by yourself. Yeah.
Wail it
Go
out,
to your
girl.
room and wail.
It says in here, instead of moving through grief and trauma, people choose to act as if nothing happened. We get over these things and move on while bearing the anguish deep within. But is this really how we're created to deal with trauma and stress? I think we just kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Just shoving it down.
It's funny though, like when you grow up reading the Bible, that's why I love inductive Bible study, which we will be doing down the road. But like you can read through so many times, like they tear their clothes and put on sackcloth and ashes and all those things. And you just don't like process what that even means. Like when I think about it, I think, oh, that was just like their tradition or their rituals or whatever. But like it actually did something for them. Like good came from that. They dealt with trauma by doing those things. They actually grieved. And it talks about how in the world we live in, you have a baby, you go back to work in a couple of weeks or a couple months, you have somebody that you love die and you take off work a couple days and then you go back to work. And so there is really no like grieving process or healing process ever.
Well, yeah, because like I feel like back then there was like a specific amount of time. What I can't remember what it was time wise, but that they would grieve.
Yeah.
And like grieve, like this grieving, the sackcloth and all of those things were real. And so
up to a year,
which is crazy.
But nowadays it's like someone close to you dies, you have 3 days and you got to get back to work.
Here's your weekend.
It's time to move on.
Come back to work on Monday and hope you can shove it down and do your job.
Yeah. Life goes on.
Life goes on. Like that's really eye-opening actually when you think about it that way.
So I'm going to skip ahead to 197. So it talks about disease and how most disease, they believe that most disease comes from perceived negative experiences. And so the question is, why is it hard to believe? Why is that hard for us to believe that all disease comes from perceived negative experiences? It says trauma is subjective. Our individual perceptions of trauma are different. we compare, we gauge our suffering by the suffering of others. But then she talks about how all disease in the body, mind comes from one thing: negative experiences. No amount of positive thought, positive affirmation, yoga, drugs, booze, sex, or makeup can cover those up forever. Some of these things will seem to help even for long stretches of time, but it always shows up somewhere. So I think that it's hard to believe because the world we live in just treats symptoms.
Mm-hmm. And
because there's money in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's no money in
coming
teaching
back
somebody how
to cure it.
In your mind.
Yep.
And honestly, I mean, it sounds very appealing. I can give you a pill and it can calm your anxiety and it can calm your mind and it can calm your emotions, and it works right now.
Right.
And I know that can catch up to me, but that's appealing. Like,
Right.
oh, that's a quicker fix than feeling what I feel all the time.
That's exactly it. The quick fix instead of the hard work that could take years. Like, this is not something that just overnight changes for people, even medicated or not medicated. Like, dealing with trauma or your perceived, like, this perceived negative experiences is just so mind boggling to me. Like, it's a perceived memory, a perceived experience. So I'm like, what does that even mean? It says become aware of or conscious of something to come to realize or understanding. So, like, that means that I am now aware that something negative happened to me. So maybe I didn't know it before, but something triggered it, or like, and so that is just such a crazy thing to think that it can affect us that much. And then it takes so much time to resolve that. Like, I don't know. I could see how it could totally, I know that all of these things, anxiety and fear and sickness, has to come from our mind, right? Like, I do understand it. I think I believe it.
Right.
I'm trying to talk myself into it.
It took 10 chapters. She thinks she believes it.
I mean, the mind can do crazy things.
Yeah, right.
So, like,
we've already talked about what it can do.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of sickness related to that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, we talked about how we can have memories that weren't actually our memories last time.
Right.
And so, like, if we can have memories or create those things in our head, then what in the world can we create out with that?
Right.
And it says in here, like, children who were raised in the same home can have different reactions to the same experiences.
And that also goes into what we were talking about with dealing with their emotions. They're not all going to deal with them the same way.
And things are going to affect them differently.
Yeah. So we have to help each of them know how to...
Right. How they handle and process things, which is crazy because you have 5 kids and that's a lot of kids to understand their emotional
especially when you
desires.
Don't understand your own.
Oh, well, so I don't have as many, but I still feel like I'm like, oh gosh, like I have 2 boys that are very different and a daughter that is completely different. So I'm like, these are 3 bodies that I'm trying to teach and learn their emotional responses and how I can help them. And I don't have my own self together.
Right.
But it says that the power is in our hands.
Yep. It's our choice.
It's our choice.
That's a choice I can get behind.
You can get behind that one. Just the one that you don't want to get behind.
So the trauma being genetically passed down hurts my brain. I don't completely understand it, but I kind of get it at the same time. Like, every time you go to the doctor, does high blood pressure run in your family? Does diabetes run in your family? Does this run in your family? So it's probably not the disease that's genetic. it's the like emotional trauma that's passed down from one generation to another that we all like function the same and get sick because of.
And they're
So
around
it's
it,
the
so they
sin.
see it. And we talked about how, you know, the dog who
You
was-
learn to walk like
the mom. And so, like, what is just if you know, like, well, my family has high blood pressure and they've all had their gallbladders out, so I'm going to have the same issues. You're telling your brain that, like, I'm going to have problems. I'm going to have problems. I'm going to have problems.
But like, let's
And
get to
then-
the root of that. Why?
And then you have
Why do we
problems.
have
Mm-hmm.
a gallbladder that needs to come out, or like in my like cancer, or like certain things that I'm like, oh, these were triggered by a traumatic experience
Mm-hmm.
that then trickles down the whole way. Like I can see how it happens.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
So what about like my son who has the bone disorder?
Right.
What?
Hmm.
What? How can I change his thinking and see the boy grow?
Hmm.
That sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But like we're pretty sure it came from my dad's side of the family. I have it. He has it. My other kids may have it. And it's like,
It also does say most.
I know, but
disease.
still, like,
Right.
I don't know that if that's, I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't know.
And we do talk about, I mean, it talks about over and over and over in the Bible about generational sin
Yeah.
and how it's passed down
mm,
and passed down until you stop it. So then it talks about this here, like Ezra and Nehemiah. In those books of the Bible, they were, they weren't going to be victims of their ancestors' issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so they repented basically on behalf of their ancestors, saying like, I give this over. I'm repenting of this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm repenting for myself. And then that confessing and repenting allows them to move forward
Mm-hmm.
without that.
Yeah.
And so like, I was just processing all of that. It's just very, because you see that in Ezra and Nehemiah. If you actually read like some of those chapters here, it says like those of Israel, Israelite descent had separated themselves from all the foreigners. They stood in their places and confessed their sins and the sins of their ancestors. That's Nehemiah 9:2. So that's like breaking the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so. How does that go along with like when we were just talking about like genetic
Mm-hmm.
passed down
Yeah.
generation after generation? Is that the same? Like, what does that mean?
It's so much. So in Ezekiel, it also talks about the child will not share the guilt of the parent, nor will the parent share the guilt of the child. So then they ask the question, which passage is true? Are we all going to suffer from our ancestors' trauma, sin, thoughts, and behavior, or are we going to live free because we repent? The choice is yours. The cycle can continue, or it can come to a screeching halt. Remember, it is not the guilt of sin that is passed down, but rather the consequences of sin that become the legacy. So the one thing that I want to say is, if I was listening to us talk right now and I wasn't reading the book, I would be like, okay, yeah, bunch of quacks. Like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds crazy.
it does.
It does.
And so, like, I just want to highlight one more time, the book that we are reading does say most disease. There is a lot of disease that we just treat the symptoms when there are other options to actually heal. I treat all kinds of symptoms. All the time, I treat symptoms that I know that I could probably avoid the disease or the struggle or the pain that I'm facing by approaching it another way, breaking a cycle, not eating. So like one example is like, I always have tension in my face, my teeth hurt, my jaws hurt. And I can treat those symptoms. I can take Motrin every day, which will cause other problems later. I can take that every day and that pain goes away, and I can keep eating my comfort food that inflames my face and inflames all the things. And I can do that, and I can avoid like the pain, right? But I know that the disease or the struggle or the pain or discomfort is there because of my choices. So I can choose not to, but why? Like I've broken some cycles from my childhood.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
Amen.
the cycle of, and I don't know who necessarily this comes from, but I think stress eating or comfort food is something that I have to choose to break that cycle so that my kids don't end up struggling with the same thing. And then there will be things, if I can get myself there, it's hard. And sometimes I just don't want to. But if I could get myself there, there are things physically that I know will get better that I'm struggling with right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know.
But like with Kelly's family, what she just talked about, I don't know.
Right.
That might not be
But we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So
so I guess the challenge to that would be, let's find out.
Yeah, what we're doing isn't working. Like,
Yeah.
constantly medicating, constantly trying to fix this problem, treat this symptom. Like, those things aren't working. Everybody's sick. Everybody's sick.
Like, obviously, there's something that our bodies are lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like God has created all of our bodies to heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just how he made us. It's amazing. So we just need to try to figure out the pieces that we are lacking to give our bodies to help fill in those areas so we can get past these problems.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are lifelong problems that will probably never be able to be healed, but there's a lot of things that people deal with that can be healed or prevented by renewing your mind and trying to change those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Stress, negativity, it's all building up and it's going to cause issues health-wise.
Yeah. When we're talking about this generational thing, I've also seen it in my life and in my mom's life and the thing in my cousins' lives. So we, on my mom's side of the family, struggle with the emotional, like on the other side, not the physical ailments that we're not sure because we haven't experienced those things to see if they work. You know what I'm saying? But on the generational side of fear on our side of the family goes very far back. And I'm talking about like detrimental fear, like you can't move kind of thing. And so like my mom had that fear and it was ingrained in her from her mom and my grandma's mom. And so like that goes really deep. And I had that fear, but my mom would be the one who broke the cycle and then taught and trained me to seek God in those moments, because prior to that, my mom's family didn't teach her about God or like teach her that Jesus can take your fear away. And so kind of like a mind shift for her to teach me that. And then for me to think about and understand, like I never wanted my children to have that debilitating fear. And like to see them as young children, and now they're older, 14, 12, and 9. But even as a 14, 12, and 9-year-olds, the fear that I had at nighttime to sleep was like debilitating. I couldn't sleep. I don't think I ever slept most of the night. Most nights I would fall asleep probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Like I would eventually fall asleep, but that fear, and like I see that cycle change because not one of my children are afraid to sleep. And never have been. Awesome. And so like that was like that mind shift, but that's not my food coping. That's not all the other things that they want to have snacks. And so there's other things that I have to work on, but that specific generational sin, because fear is essentially not of God. And to see that happen and that transition and that breaking of cycle is incredible to see happen. I would love to see what it would look like on a physical side.
Yeah.
Like it would be incredible.
Yeah.
To watch that turn off, as essentially what she says here.
So I think I've said this every single time. The next 5 pages we cannot talk about right now because it would probably take us another hour. And it's very intense.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know what they say, get the book because it's a really good book. But there's a challenge that the author of the book gives us. And it is when something triggering comes up this week, Kelly, try literally shaking it off. I think we should all try it.
Where's that at?
That is amazing because I wrote that in my book as well.
She said, where is that at? I don't know whose challenge it is. Whoever made the Bible study thing.
So it was in those questions that were like part of the workbook or whatever.
And it even said, let the Taylor Swift song play in your head.
Yes. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
And then I have one last thought here because part of that shaking it off, I just wrote this. Do not entertain the thought. Don't let it manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Right there.
And the very last part of this, it says, we can change our thoughts and remodel our memories. Yes, we can change anything, even our genes. How? By changing our thoughts and reshaping our memories.
Thank you for listening to a production from Family Simple Media and the CSW Podcast. Follow, like, and subscribe at CSW Podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.